I think the magnitude.
Are you saying there's a conspiracy here?
I'm saying there's an obsession by the media to delegitimize this president. And we are not going to sit around and let it happen. We are going to fight back tooth and nail every day and twice on Sunday.
The Trump White House vowing they will battle the media in their first days in office. It's happening already. White House senior advisor Kellyanne Conway calling out Time magazine for mistakenly and incorrectly reporting that the Trump team had removed a bust of Martin Luther King from the Oval Office. That did not happen.
We allowed the press to come into the Oval Office and witness President Trump signing executive orders. And what happens almost immediately, a falsehood is told about removing the bust of Martin Luther King Jr. from the Oval Office. That's just flat out false. And
it was corrected immediately.
Chuck, why was it said? Chuck, why was it said in the first place? Because everybody is so presumptively negative.
Climb into the head of that reporter.
No, that it's okay. No, excuse me. Oh, no. That falsehood got spread 3,000 times before it was corrected.
Excuse
me.
And
it's still out there.
Excuse, and you did not answer the question.
Let's take this to the political power panel. They are here. They're Fox News contributor Angela McLaughlin and Democrat strategist Danielle McLaughlin. Danielle, first to you, what is going on with the media in the Trump White House? Do they feel that the Trump White House is top spinning, things like crowd sizes? I mean, why get in fights like that? But is the media giving the incoming Trump administration a chance because they're moving ahead on policy here?
I think what we have to make a distinction between, Liz, is the fact that, fact-checking is not attacking. And we all know that Donald Trump has been a little bit loosey-goosey with the truth in the past. Even in his inauguration speech, he talked about rising crime and...
well, crime is rising, crime in the cities.
Well, within some of the cities, but over time, actually, violent crime has been decreasing over decades now. The same thing with federal employees, this idea that we have this massively wasteful...
I'm not sure about the violent crime decreasing. I just feel like, Angela, they were getting into these fights over crowd sizes. We get it. We know that Donald Trump has been known to, get in fights about his net worth. And now is he going to get in fights about the success of his jobs policies and crowd sizes? Angela, here's what happened. White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer's first press briefing today. He made the unusual move. Sean Spicer did this. He took questions from the back of the room. And what do you think about that move?
Listen, a decade ago, I wrote this book, Bamboozle, How Americans Are Being Exploited by the Lies of the Liberal Agenda, and it is a conspiracy. And yes, ma'am, you should
Wait a minute, wait. What do you mean conspiracy? Because nobody's really getting together as a network to do this to the Trump administration, right?
No. I said the liberal agenda. You do have liberals that do get together, and the bottom line is they do put lies out there. And I'm glad that Sean Spicer, well played. He's holding their feet to the fire. Congratulations, President Trump. The American people need to know the truth. And any American out there that wants to protest, write the Federal Communications Commission. If you know of a newspaper or a reporter that you're not happy of, you own newspapers. You own the airwaves. So the American people need to protest. People need to get the facts out there, and people are tired. They're sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Now we got a war in the media, really? I mean, this is what's going to happen. I mean, this country has a lot of problems, Danielle. And now Sean Spicer, he had a lot of announcements to make about meeting with President Trump meeting with CEOs and union leaders to create jobs. But reporters from ABC, CBS, and CNN, they only focused on the fake crowd numbers at the inauguration. That's their narrative. I mean, let's take a listen. Let's watch. Viewer, take a listen.
Do you stand by your statement that was the most watched inaugural address?
Sources are telling CBS News, those with knowledge of who was in the room and the lobby of the CIA, that senior leadership were not among those hooting and hollering, and that there were some 40 people who were in the first front rows who were brought in by Trump and Pence and Pompeo.
Why make this crowd size issue something to talk about at all? And why get into it? Did it bother the president that much?
That's a fair question. There were many other reporters at the meeting asking policy questions. But Danielle, journalists seem to be stuck on the crowd issue. There are policy moves today made by the Trump administration. What's going on?
I mean, absolutely right. I mean, this was an hour-and-a-half long news conference, and there were some questions about it. But you have to remember, this crowd size thing came from the Trump administration. Sean Spicer was sent out there, on Saturday to talk about the comparison between the inauguration and the Women's March.
Understood.
And then he stood at the CIA in front of the stars of the fallen heroes, these anonymous heroes, and talked about crowd size. I really think it was on Trump, and he has the power to end it.
Okay, Angela, yes. Can you just answer what Danielle just said? Go ahead, Angela.
The liberal mainstream media, liberals are very good at deflection and distraction. People care about jobs. They don't care about crowd size. And I think it's great that people came here to Washington, D.C. to protest their grievances. That's what being an American is all about. But now we need to get down to the business of creating jobs, of creating national security that will protect our homeland.
Angela, stay on this. I mean, they're thinking, when you watch what the media is saying, you look at the crowd numbers, they feel like they're the administration was top spinning and inflating crowd numbers, and the fear is that Donald Trump and the administration is going to top spin jobs performance and other policy success stories. Go ahead, take that on.
Elizabeth, a great journalist, when you read their articles or you hear them give the news, is when you don't know who they are, if they're Republican or Democratic. They need to report the news. Whether the administration is spinning, it doesn't matter, because you are a journalist and the American people need to know the truth.
Respectfully, it does matter if the administration is spinning. Respectfully, it does matter if the administration is spinning.
Wait, let Angela finish. Go ahead. Danielle, then you can go.
Ma'am, I didn't interrupt you, okay? Go. The bottom line is the American people need to know the truth and protest. Write your congressman, write the FCC, and put these people in line. And Sean Spicer, keep up the good work.
Or Danielle, go.
My only point is that it does matter if the administration is spinning. And I agree that journalists need to do their job. The idea, for example, that CNN as an organization is somehow fake news is just nonsensical. And anyone watching or hearing that from the president-elect, and he said it, you have to look behind it and figure out whether that's...
But Danielle, hang on. You get the sense that Donald Trump doesn't feel respected, that he feels illegitimate,
sure,
and that they're delegitimizing him, and there's a move afoot to do that. Go ahead.
No, and I think what he has done, he's sort of created a foil in the press, and I think it's actually something that he's done on purpose. You heard...
Well, he's done it for a reason, though. He's been personally attacked and wrongfully attacked with falsehoods in the past.
But he's also done some attacking of his own, whether that was against the press, whether it was against people that he ran against. He's a rough and tumble guy. I think he likes the fact that there's a foil there, and Americans have to watch the media. I would say consume media from all sources. I think that's a really smart thing to do. Keep critical thinking, but also the administration has to keep on, has to tell the truth to the American people.
Go ahead, Angela.
I think she's right. We do have to have critical thinking. We do have to do fact-checking ourselves as American people. But bottom line, again, Trump won. How can you say that he's illegitimate? We voted him in office. It's time to stop.
63 million, yeah. All right, we got to do breaking news. Hang on. We've got Donald Trump taking to the microphone in just a few minutes. There was another event, an already busy day. He met with congressional leadership on both sides of the political aisle, both Democrats and Republicans, in the state dining room of the White House. Attendees included House Speaker Paul Ryan, House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi, New York Senator Chuck Schumer, and Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. So what's happening right now is, Danielle, have you seen a president so active on his first day in office?
I don't know about activity or not, but what I think he's
he's done a bunch of executive actions, Danielle, and he's also met with manufacturing CEOs
and
labor leaders as well. Go ahead.
Absolutely. I think what he's doing here is strategically really, really smart, and I think it makes sense. He's come into office as sort of a non-ideologue, right? Like, he has policy positions from the left and the right, and the idea that he's meeting with labor unions as a Republican president is almost unheard of. And he's doing the job that Americans elected him to do. So kudos to Donald Trump on this. I'm not going to attack him just for the fact that he's a Republican.
Angela, we're looking at Donald Trump now, Angela, is talking to Senator Chuck Schumer. Nancy Pelosi is there, along with Paul Ryan. So this is a bipartisan meeting right now. What are your thoughts?
Because he just doesn't represent Republicans. Now he represents the United States of America. And I'm pleased that Democrats and Republicans are coming together, because that's what it's going to take to save this nation. We're in trouble. We have so many people on the welfare dole. We have so many people with hopelessness and despair. We need to see a strong leader. And I know it's historical, Elizabeth, that you had President-elect Trump that brought, 1,000 jobs to America before he went into the White House. Now imagine if we all come together, kumbaya, we can rectify this thing that has been destroyed over the last 8 years. Barack Hussein Obama did not create a more prosperous America. Barack Hussein Obama did not create a better America.
Yes, also in the meeting is Steny Hoyer. We've got a number of Democrats at this meeting, and what's striking here, Angela, is the fact that earlier in the day, Angela, Donald Trump met with factory union leaders, and this is the Democrat bulwark. These are historically the guys and the women who back Democrats. What is going on here?
I really think that this president will be historical. I think he's going to have a great legacy, and he is going to right the wrong. He is doing it in a little unique way, and they are, standing there at the bully pulpit. And I would suggest tone it down, pull it back, and do the job that we elected you to do. We're making everything about nothing and a lot about nothing, when in essence it's not about how big the crowds are. It's not about who thinks he's not legitimate. When John Lewis testified before the Senate, it doesn't matter. You're president, you're in the White House, work.
Angela McLaughlin and Danielle McLaughlin, thank you so much for your time. President Trump used his first executive order Friday to one of them